Hello, and welcome to another episode of From the Hawk's Eye. I am Jeremy Greco, and of course, today we will be talking about Soul Eater. I'm going to be talking about the anime. I haven't seen the manga, so just kind of stick with me. I don't know anything about the manga. So if you got questions or issues with the manga, I don't know. This is only the third anime that I've watched all the way through. I've also seen Angel Beats and Kenichi. Love both of those. Love this one. Um, just I've just finished it, and I had some things that I wanted to say. Um, it's got some really interesting characters. Let me set you up real quick, in case you haven't seen it. Um, the main story takes place at the DWMA, the Death Weapon and Meister Academy, and basically there, Death teaches Meisters and weapons how to fight demons, which they call Kishin. Um, and so Meisters are just like they're just people who can use the weapons, basically. And weapons are also people, but they can transform into weapons. So there's seven main characters, three Meisters, four weapons. They're all students at the academy. You've got Maka, who's the son, or excuse me, the daughter of two different of a Meister and a weapon, the only weapon to actually get turned into a Death Scythe. We'll get into that in a second. And her partner is Soul, who is a Scythe. And then you've got Blackstar, who is the son of like some kind of criminal syndicate. Like his dad led the syndicate. I'm not really sure where else it goes, but they were called the Star Clan. And his partner is Tsubaki, and she can transform into a bunch of different weapons. And then you've got Death the Kid, who is Death's son, and he's got two weapons, two pistols that he holds with his pinkies, which seems really like hard to fire and painful and hard to aim. I don't know why he does that, but their names are Patty and Liz Thompson. They're twins, but they are not identical twins, which throws him off early. Um, so basically, the idea is that in the academy, they are learning how to fight, and to graduate the academy to become whatever they want to be, they all want to turn their weapons into death size weapons that Death can use to fight like real Kishin. Um, and the idea is they have to capture 99 Kishin souls, which are like, but they don't fight real Kishin, I guess. They fight people who are about to turn into Kishin or who are almost turned into Kishin. They don't want to eat people's souls who are just normal people because that'll turn them evil into Kishin probably. And then they have to get one witch's soul. And the characters are just really good in this show. Even some of the side characters. Death is actually a really interesting character as you go through the show. I also love Sid, even though he starts off as an instructor. And I was immediately drawn to his character because the same voice actor who plays him played one of the teachers in Kenichi. So that gave me a tie-in to what I already knew. He starts off as a teacher, and then like 10 episodes in, he turns into a zombie. And so for the rest of the series, he's always like, "When I was alive, I was really good with a shovel too. That's just the kind of man I was." And I just love his remembering when he was a man. It cracks me up. The series is a little hard to get into. I loved the initial premise. It also goes away after like 10 episodes. Like everybody just stops trying to collect souls, which kind of irked me. But the characters were a little bit overdone. Like every character has their own kind of flaw. Um, Maka hates her dad because he cheated on her mom, and she just wants everything. She just wants to be the best. She wants to prove that she can make a death scythe that's better than her dad, and it's just bothering her this entire time. And Soul thinks everything has to be cool. If it's not cool, he can't be bothered with it. Blackstar thinks he's going to be the best assassin ever, and he just spends so much time talking about it that he doesn't actually accomplish anything. Tsubake just puts up with Blackstar. That's kind of her character constraint, and that's the one thing that never really changes. Death starts out, he has this thing with symmetry. If things aren't symmetrical, he can't handle it. And there's even one of the, I think it's the first episode he's actually in. The enemy he's trying to fight is symmetrical at the beginning of the fight, and he can't fight it. He's just trying not to hurt it because it's beautiful symmetry. And then you've got Patty and Liz Thompson, and Liz is kind of taller and skinnier, and she's scared of everything and is just like really girly. And then you got Patty Thompson, who's also really girly, but she's also really ditzy, except when she turns really scary. And they all have moments of character growth as the show goes on, which is really good. That's what you want to see in an anime that's going to last 51 episodes, which is what this one lasted. So that's really good. The plot, like I said, they start with this central premise and then they completely ignore it. They don't even say, like, okay, we got to do something different now, or, you know what, this was a bad idea, or I don't care anymore, or anything. They just stop paying attention to it. And start dealing with all their other stuff. Now, as the show gets on, a lot of people say the plots get more interesting, and that's kind of true. They love to reuse jokes, which is great. I love callbacks, and they don't seem to overdo it, so that's really good. The ending of the show, like the last 10 or 15 episodes, has a lot of cool fights, a lot of interesting reveals. It's a lot of fun. It also has some issues for me. They introduce a new character called Arachne, who is the sister of an earlier enemy, and they make, oh, she's real scary. She's this big deal, and she's doing all this stuff, and she acts like she's got this great master plan, and she's always going to be one step ahead of everybody else, right? Until, like, she's not. One of the people she tries to partner with just up and kills her. And the Deathmeisters don't really ever fight her. They fight her when she first appears, when she's kind of weak, and then they never fight her again. Like, she just kind of goes off and does her thing, and they try and get to her, and they never really get to her before she gets herself killed by being stupid, basically. And then the very end of the show, so spoiler alert, is that Death tries to fight the worst Kishin of them all, and he's defeated. A lot of people call this a cop-out because he actually doesn't die, which I guess he does in the manga. Oh, I guess I do know a little bit about the manga, but not much at all. So they call that a cop-out. But the part that I think is a cop-out is Maka, Soul, Black Star, Tsubaki, Death the Kid, Patty and Liz all have been working really hard to become a team and to learn new powers and to learn how to fight together and all this stuff, right? And they've been working hard at it. They've spent many episodes learning how to, stop focusing on themselves or what the way things should be and just deal with things the way they are and all kinds of stuff like that. And in the end, Maka defeats the enemy by being brave. She just refuses to be scared of him anymore and punches him in the face and he explodes. And meanwhile, all of her allies are just kind of lying on the ground like, yeah, Maka's the most bravest person ever. And I'm like, but you guys are brave? Like, I look at especially Black Star is brave because he had a lot of opportunities to fall into becoming a demon himself because of his obsession with winning. But he was so brave that he refused to give in and become that demon, and he forged his own path. That's very brave to me. Patty and Liz face their fears all the time while fighting with Death the Kid. That's very brave. But then Maka's bravery is the only bravery that's celebrated. I would have liked to have seen everybody's bravery, the entire team's bravery, be celebrated. But that's just the way it is, I guess. I don't. The only other thing I want to say is Excalibur. Excalibur is the most powerful weapon of all time. It's kind of implied. I'm not sure if they outright say it. That he is the weapon that the crazy Super Kishin used to use before he became a crazy Super Kishin. He shows up throughout the series. He is an interesting character that could be easily overdone. He's just got all this stuff going on where he's really obnoxious, and it's really entertaining until you do an entire episode and all it is him being obnoxious. There were a couple episodes like that, and like halfway through I was really entertained and I was laughing, and then the rest of it I was like, okay, I'm done. Just can we move on now? So basically, anyway, all I'm trying to say is Soul Eater is great anime. It's a lot of fun. Really good characters. So if you're like me and the most important thing is story, but then the most important thing within that story is characters, then you're going to like Soul Eater. And you should definitely check it out if you're interested in anime at all. And if you're watching this, then I'm hoping you are. Uh, so that's basically all I have to say about Soul Eater. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.